What's up YouTube, Missing No VGC back again, and today we're doing another Kaijudo deck profile. This time it is the Light Fire Rush deck that got third place on my Kaijudo poll on the Rager Dojo Facebook group. There's not really much to say about it. It's Light Fire Rush. So we're just going to get into it. Start things off, we play 2 copies of Blaze Belcher and 1 copy of B Belcher. I don't know who made this card. I don't know who Team Belly Belcher is. Team Top Deck sounds familiar. But I absolutely love what you've done to this card. It's absolute masterpiece. And that flavor text is perfect. Anyway, Blaze Belcher is a 1 for 1,000 card that came out in the original decks that launched the game. That says that this creature has to attack if able. Which is both a good and bad thing. Being able to attack on turn 2 is really good. Especially back in the early days of the game. But the fact that this card has to attack is kind of a downfall to it in itself, because if your opponent has a blocker, you have to attack into your own death, and there you go. We play 3 copies of Sledgebot. It's a 1 for 2,000 card that has Protector and Skirmisher. Skirmisher never comes up for me, but the Protector is the main reason why you play this card. Just protect one of your other creatures you really, really want to keep. 3 copies of Magris. It's Magris. It's the best vanilla in the game. It's a 1-drop enforcer. And you've seen the thumbnail, so you know why that matters. Next we play 3 copies of Ember Adept. 2 for 1,000 Protector. That also has the ability to discard a card and draw a card. It's not the best effect. The Protector is really, really handy. And getting able to dig just a little bit deeper does come up occasionally to get combo pieces that you might need. We play 2 copies of Lava Racer. It's just a 2 for 2,000 fast attacker that dies at the end of the turn. So, I mean, it does what it needs to do. We have 3 copies of Metal Max. 2 for 3,500 vanilla. Just kind of a big body. Easy to drop. Not really much to say about Metal Max. It's Metal Max. Oh, also, Enforcer. We play 3 copies of Luminous Shieldwing. 2 for 1,500 Enforcer that, when it would be banished, it goes to your shields. It goes face down in your shields. So, just another shield that your opponent has to deal with, which would just in turn give you another body. So, you know, why not? We play 3 copies of Comet Missile. This deck absolutely sucks going against decks that play blockers, which is most of them. But it's also the lowest card that I could think of at the time of building this deck that just ensures getting rid of a blocker. I don't necessarily like the card, but I feel it's kind of necessary unless I can find something better. This is also the only spell that we play, if I remember my list correctly. But we will continue on from there. You play 3 copies of Citadel Judge. This card's interesting. It's a 3 for 2,000 Enforcer that has the ability to, when you attack, you can choose a number, and then you tap a creature whose level is equal to that number. So, if I went to attack and I declare 10, they have to tap their Haven. So, that's interesting. You shouldn't be against a Haven at that point if you're playing Rush, though, so don't want to use that as an example. We play 3 copies of Blinder Beetle. Not much to say, it's Blinder Beetle. It's 3 for 1,000. Tap a creature when you play it. Does what it does very well. We play 3 copies of Keeper of Laws. While not an Enforcer, still a really good card. Having a card that is untargetable if you have other creatures on the field, which you're constantly going to. It's a rush deck. They're all tiny cards. You're always going to have a body with Keeper of Laws. Also, having a card to deter your opponent from playing spells is pretty good, because if they play the spell, yeah, they might remove one of your cards, but you also get to draw a card in return. So just having a little tiny of a deterrent, I feel is really good for this deck, since this deck really only has one mode, and it's just go fast and pray. Next we play 3 copies of Blitzermech Falcora. This card has fast attack, and whenever it attacks, you can just tap an enemy creature. I'm mixed on it. I feel like it's pretty okay. Like, I mean, it's a card that has fast attack. It taps things, but it's a 4 for 25. It does what it does well. I feel it's pretty okay. There are times where I really don't want to see it, but, you know, it's whatever. Next, this card is the whole reason why I even built this deck to begin with. We have 3 copies of Draco Mech Commander. I know that there are a lot of people who play Light Fire Rush that don't play Draco Mech Commander, but I had like 5 or 6 copies just sitting in a binder. I'm like, I'm going to do something with this. And it's a pretty fun card. It's a Vortex evolution, so it does cost 2 bodies to go into either 2 light and or fire cards. It has Double Breaker. It has Enforcer, so if you really need to evolve on top of it, you can. It gives all of your other creatures fast attack, which most of them have, but, you know, still good to have. And then whenever this creature enters the battle zone, and whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability, you reveal a top card of your deck, and if it's level 4 or less, you can put it into your battle zone. Otherwise, it goes to your hand, which is every card in the deck except for the last card after this card. So you're pretty much guaranteed a body unless you reveal your Comet Missile or your 2 copies of Blinder Beetle Prime, which is... this card's oppressive. I don't really like this card. Playing it makes you kind of feel like a scumbag. Going against it makes you want to cry. But this card stayed relevant for the entirety of its life. And that's for, you know, a pretty good reason. This card, it just comes out and it hits hard. Evolves off of an Enforcer, so it's like the only relevant race-related evolution that still exists. But the ability to just come out, double break, and then when you summon it, you tap a creature, and whenever it attacks, you tap another creature. So on the turn you play it, you're tapping 2 and breaking 2, essentially. That's pretty good. Blinder Beetle Prime is just an amazing card. There's not really much to say about it. Going back to Draco Mech Commander, though, real quick. I really like this card. I think it's neat. 8,500 isn't necessarily the biggest thing, but for level 4, it's pretty cool. My only issue is that it is, in fact, a Vortex evolution. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but committing 2 bodies is already asking for kind of a lot. But asking for 2 bodies to commit to a thing that can die to a Bone Blades the turn that it is played kind of sucks, and it's kind of a scary thing to do. So I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of trying to drop this against a deck playing Darkness if I know that they are potentially playing Bone Blades, because that's a lot to commit just to lose immediately. But aside from that, I feel the card's pretty good. There's not really much to say about this deck. This is kind of a shorter video, I feel. But I mean, there's not really much you can say about a Light Fire Rush deck. It's Rush. It goes fast, and then you hope you win. I feel like this definitely is not the most optimal build. I feel like there's a lot that I could probably do different. I have seen Modest's video, and his deck is completely different from mine. Like, I know he doesn't play the Draco Mechs, but I kind of like what I have going on. I feel like I could definitely do a better job about it. But this is what I currently am working with. The next video was supposed to be the last deck from the poll, which was going to be a revisit of Dark Saberbolt from back in the day, but with a more modern twist. You drop the Bolt-tailed Dragon for Kuth the Dervish instead, because it's the same thing but can attack untapped creatures. That's pretty good. But most of the... I realized that my list that I have typed up on my phone is completely different from the list that I have currently built. And I need to figure out what exactly happened there because nothing's adding up properly. So that might not be the next video. That being said, I have plenty of other decks I could do profiles on. I have a Kurgar deck I could do. I could do Corrupted if anyone's interested in a Corrupted deck. I could do Light, Water, Nature, Mega Bugs at some point. I'm always talking about dragons. I'm sure I could put a dragon deck up at some point. But yeah, that's the deck. I feel it's kind of meh, but it works. But let me know what you guys would change about it, what you guys have been doing lately. Just start a conversation. Catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.